Good morning, warm greetings. Like to start today with a drill from Madhavan.
पहले सभी ड्रिल करो, माइंड ड्रिल। कर्मेंद्रियों की ड्रिल नहीं, मन की ड्रिल करो। रेडी? देखो, सबसे श्रेष्ठ से श्रेष्ठ चित्र होता है ताज, तख्त, तिलकधारी का। तो अपना चित्र सामने लाओ और सब संकल्प किनारे कर। देखो, आप सभी बाप दादा के दिल तख्त नशीन है।
come back. Beautiful way that it sets a tone. This feeling of continuity in this space when soul is seeing in that being connected to the true self. And yesterday, be good to hear from you the highlights for those who were with us yesterday. And recording is there, yes, if you need to catch up. But I quite like the way through the cycle we understand through the Murlis this idea of Vishnu sustaining and Lakshmi and Narayan being the combined form, the soul conscious stage, holding the space. And at the physical level, there's a role being played. And as we go through the cycle, it exhibits differently, Copper Age, the different roles of the spiritual leaders. And at this time, to use it as inspiration, there's so much richness, to use it as inspiration, not as a point of devotion, that being the big difference. So handing over now to Prashant, and looking forward to getting more insights into this fascinating area. So welcome.
Thank you. And just want to feedback to Sarah, your volume was somehow lower for me. Don't know why.
I realized the setting I just changed. I don't know why it does that.
Yeah.
We're back.
And good morning. Let us create another minute of silence. And let us come to that highest consciousness. When we say the invisible witness and invisible soul, we are talking about the highest consciousness. Invisible witness is free from this whole physical world. That is what is highest. If you're completely free, it is highest. More it gets trapped, it becomes lower consciousness. Invisible witness is understanding. He knows the story for what it is. And he knows that he is completely independent. Story is not his world. His world is Alokik. He knows that everyone is lucky. He is lucky, everyone is lucky. Because they all are subtle, invisible, immortal, divine. Their world is Alokik. And their world is godly. World with the God and world of God. Auspicious. It also means it is not the world of Ravan. Ravan's field of action is the story. And if Ravan is not there, there's nothing inauspicious. Even desire is not there. That's why world of silent celebration, world of disbelief, that is what their world is. That is why he says everyone is lucky. Thank you. This also gives us an idea why there are sages and prophets and saints and rishis and mahatmas. Why? You want to answer? We said this experience gives us an idea why there are sages and great dharmatmas and mahatmas. Why are there? These people appear like people call them incarnations. They are from other world, other planet. Where do they come from?
Mm.
You can give your answers.
They help to keep a balance.
Yes, but where do they come from? How come there are suddenly sages and incarnations and where do they come from? People even use the language. They are not from this planet.
They come from the same place we come from, straight from the soul world, from peace. They are in that stage, the spiritual stage, elevated mukti. They're born with special powers.
Good. That meditation experience also gives you an insight that everyone is a Mahatma and everyone is a sage. Everyone is good inside out. If there is no demon, then what remains is angel. This is a race of angelic souls. This applies to everyone. They all are divine and good. Divine means their nature is authentic, clean, and godlike. That's what we hear now in the Murlis. Everyone is godlike, so just that everyone's starting position is that also. We all, starting position of all of us is the same. We are not trying to achieve something extraordinary. We are just trying to become normal. That is all. And if we have forgotten, Baba's task is to remind us what was normal for you. It has so happened that in Iron Age, the majority have gone so far in other direction that appears normal. And in that environment, these few, sages, they stand out and it appears this is very different. And we call them sages. But gives us an idea, this is our starting position. And when we are talking about sages and the prophets and those qualities, the aim is we take inspiration from that. And it should help us, refine our experiences. All the various words we used at different times. We are going through all this so that we understand what this is our stage. We also mentioned yesterday that confluence age, present time, it is like going up. We have the understanding what the whole game is. How we know the dynamics, how this happens. Not in a superficial way. We understand what soul consciousness means, what to be free from the story means, and that authentic experience of that divine personality. When we were describing In the prophets, some words we used, I'm revising some of them. And as I'm reading them, try and grapple, try and grasp. It is meant for our experience. In the prophets, one gifted with more than ordinary spiritual and moral insight. So this is like you can describe Brahmins in this way. So most of these descriptions are our description, everyone's. More than ordinary. Ordinary people, they don't even have interest in the spiritual insights. So you have got insight in this. You know what is the higher morality. Prophets, it's etymologically, they can tell the future. You know the three aspects of time. You know which age is to come next. That's what you tell others also, what is to come in the future. Regarded as being in contact with God, speak on behalf of God. People think that way, that prophets are speaking on behalf of God. Here, Baba himself tells you that you are speaking what Baba tells you. Speak on behalf of God, intermediary. Sages, one who lives according to an ideal which transcends ordinary and everyday life. Transcend is a nice word. You lifting beyond. One who has attained freedom. Sage we define that way. One is not seeking for freedom, who has attained freedom. Embodiment. Sage has what the philosopher seeks. Righteous, holy, wise. Master of matter. Which means he is not subservient to the sense objects. Ravan is totally subservient. Ravan's 10 heads are a slave to sense objects. As Ravan becomes smaller, you are becoming free. But invisible witness, he doesn't live to eat, he eats to live. After intense tapasya, realized the supreme truth and timeless wisdom. Rishis, sages, munis, they are described. Their positioning is that most people understand. They have done tapasya and they have realized. Free of lower desires, free from slavery to matter, free from lust. Amongst the Rishi is word for sages, and there are some other three words are used within mythology: Brahma Rishi, Maharishi, and Rajarishi. So these are words, but Baba uses the word Rajarishi, that you are princess You are masters in that sense, Raj, and you are also rishis, sages. We spoke about Siddhi. If you are not slave to matter, you become master of matter. And it will present in different ways. You will find things happen in an extraordinary way. Wishes become horses. And the golden age is a creation, not of technology, it's a creation of magic. Shift of consciousness, then that in that consciousness you are master of matter. Knowledge is revealed. They see things, they hear knowledge, they hear truth. So seers, this is a word sometimes used. They can just see. So Baba's position is there. He can see things. But there are some in history, they did not plan to write anything. They just hear the poetry and they just write it. So that is going on. Within that is truth, and within that is poetry, and within that it has happened. One word that is used by Baba, I will write these words here. And I just want to use the whiteboard. Baba uses this word, Vashikaran mantra. Vash is to make an animal, mostly it is animal, subservient. Sometimes a wild animal, you make it subservient. And you make it, subservient. You get control over it. That is Vash. And Vashikaran mantra is a mantra that can make the wild animal, like say tiger, lion, subservient. It is not there to attack you. You see this happening, it's sometimes some people have got dogs in their houses. Those dogs are very wild and fierce, but they are subservient to the masters. Whatever has happened, but they do not attack the masters. They obey the masters. So that is, they are made vash. Their vashikaran has happened. So these rishis were living in the forests. They were living fearless. They lived with nature, and there are wild animals, but they can make them subservient either through their chant or through their attitude. Animals remained subservient to them. So that is Vashikaran mantra. Baba says, Baba is teaching you Vashikaran mantra. But this Vashikaran is not just wild animals. Where do you use this Vashikaran mantra? You are not coming across wild animals in your cities. So where do you use this Vashikaran mantra?
The inner wild animal?
Yes.
Yeah, the wild one within, to control the vices, to for their own mind, for all people, someone wrote, for others.
Vashikaran mantra we need, yes, to control the 10 heads of Ravan. Ravan is a demon. It is worse than a tiger. And this is 10-headed monster. All 10 heads have to be made subservient. So you need that Vashikaran mantra for this. And the proof, yogi are the ones who will use your Vashikaran mantra. And they will try to understand what is it that makes Ravan subservient. And if that works, that is like a highest achievement of the in lifetime. Through the cycle, not many have the secret here. We saw yesterday that in our journey through the cycle, there are sages and there are yogis and there are prophets, mahatmas. But one thing that is lacking in all of them, what is it? They couldn't control the 10-headed monster of Ravan. They cannot teach others how to control Ravan. Ravan and Maya, that understanding is missing. They can teach, how not to get worse, but how to stop Ravan, that understanding is not there. And in time, the new soul, the deities also, right from deities, and then prophets and sages and saints and mahatmas, dharmatmas, scholars, all those who were sparkling stars at different times on the planet. Each generation had these special, lights, but they all are defeated by Ravan as time goes, including deities. Such is the power of this monster. And at the present time, Baba is teaching you Vashikaran mantra so that you defeat Ravan. You stop it completely and you become free. Then it is a yogi. And just knowledge by itself, then it is a scholar. But if the 10-headed monster is controlled, then it is a Rajrishi and all these titles apply. We'll speak in one model that will make it easy. Our aim is to see how this life appears to be a 10-headed monster. Some sages couldn't control it. And so it is, how can we make this easy? Let us take the example of a cartoon. But before we come to this subject, anyone want to add anything, say anything?
Please do type. Just myself would like to underline how you started, that all are Mahatmas, everyone is angel, but it's just what is abnormal. Ravan's psychology and behavior has become normal. So it appears these sparkling souls coming fresh are extraordinary. Found that very helpful, and shifting what is normal, therefore. So that's one aspect, but no comments right now. I was going to ask, what is the essence of the Vashikaran mantra, but it looks like you will be building on it.
Yes. So I was using the example of a cartoon. Say children, children are watching cartoon. I'm talking here cartoon of half an hour They are sitting in front of the television and they are watching the cartoon. And then they go back home. They are into their world of mummy and daddy that is going on. That is their reality, their mother and father, and that is their reality. And they see this another reality in the cartoon world that is a different fictional reality, which is great. In that little box, they are seeing this many things happening. Tom comes, Tom goes, Jerry comes, Jerry goes. Someone becomes big, someone becomes small. It is what they are doing. They are not mixing their life with the fictional life. Let us use the word cartoon. There is a story there in the cartoon, and there is a life, and someone is behaving in a certain way. There are different personalities. All that is happening in the cartoon. But let us use the word Freddy. Freddy is a child. Let me use the right color. So here is Freddy. Freddy is watching the cartoon. He is amused by the cartoon, but he doesn't mix his life with the cartoon. Completely different reality. Mix his life. He doesn't say, I got some friend in the cartoon. Jerry is my friend. He doesn't say, I got some gold within that cartoon. That house is mine. Or I don't want. He doesn't create some desires. This should change. This should not happen. He watches cartoon. That is all. He's just the observer of the cartoon with zero bondage. Anything more than that, you will say it is madness. If Freddy was to say that Jerry there should not do this, why is he doing this? Then you will say this is mad, Freddy. And 3-year-old, 5-year-old children, they watch cartoons and they don't mix their lives with what is happening in the cartoon world. Agree? They remain completely separate in their head, in their mind. Their reality is their world with mommy, daddy, their friends. That is their world. And the cartoon world is a separate world. Excellent. Now let us come to this, our world. Yogi, yesterday we said yogi is not, Harry is not a yogi, but the soul is a yogi. Only the soul can become soul conscious. Invisible witness, he is the yogi. One who has become conscious, he is the yogi. So this invisible witness, he understands, he has woken up, he understands his family, and he understands his world and his father. He knows he's very lucky, because this is like a world with God. In a world of immortality, no harm, nothing can harm this world, nothing can harm him, even the slightest. And on top of this, everyone is divine and lovely and desireless and sorrowless. This is a celestial celebration. Such is his world. And what is happening here? What is happening in that box? Do you want to tell? From the language we are using. What is in this blue box?
Deeply. Someone's written a Cinderella movie, and someone said they lie to us with the box. Not sure. drama. Waiting for the other word beginning with C. Deception, complaints, and conflicts. In other words, cartoon.
Yeah, the word we are looking for is cartoon. Baba sometimes uses the word cartoon. So here is essentially, it's a world of images. And that what we are seeing here, the world in front of us, and it is a world of images. And cartoon means just a world of images. It gets repeated. Whole thing will be played over again. So radical. We are seeing this in a radically different way. So whole thing will be repeated, just like a film gets repeated. We can call it a film. Film, we are watching the film and then the whole film is repeated. But this time we are using the word cartoon because we have used the image of Freddy watching the cartoon. So there is a cartoon going on here. Cartoon, and there is a Jerry and there is Tom. Things come, things go, things become small, things become big. Freddy doesn't mix his life with the cartoon. He's watching the cartoon, but Freddy remains completely free. No one has even taught him. He naturally, we are talking here 3-year-old, 5-year-old, children, they don't mix their lives. Cartoon finishes, they finish, they go home. They don't cry because things have happened in the cartoon. Here, the game is the same game. There is a world of images in that blue box. And these invisible players, these invisible princes, from God's world, they are given this great gift of performance, cartoon performance. It's an extra gift. Gift is always extra. They don't need it, so it is an extra. It is you go to watch film, it is an extra. That's why it's like a gift. So here is a performance. If we are able to see it the way Freddy would see it, then you win the sky and you also win the earth. You win your supreme truth, your celestial world, and you are also enjoying the cartoon. But another factor can come, and that is a factor of confusion. And in confusion, you start getting so drawn into the cartoon, you don't even realize that this Jerry and Tom is a cartoon even. This is the only factor of Ravan. Ravan factor is confusion. In an extreme way. Even children are not deceived. But here someone doesn't even understand. This is a cartoon. And he starts creating desires in it, creates expectations, starts claiming things, starts owning things, complains. He's busy. Ravan's department starts. Until he thinks he himself is Jerry in that cartoon. And complains about Tom and frightened about Tom. He has completely lost sight of his world. He's caught in the world of Jerry and Tom in such a ridiculous way that they can't even remember that he has a world behind, who he is. World of mommy and daddy he has completely forgotten. We're giving the example of Freddy. If Freddy was to come into this whilst watching cartoon, starts believing he's Jerry, you will say, this is complete madness. What has happened here? That there is some doctors need to be involved here. Same is here. Our situation is extreme ignorance. Not a little anger, little problems here. No, there is a deeper problem of darkness, darkness of ignorance. We are immersed in this. But Baba also gives, he's the eternal surgeon, and his answer is such an easy answer. He says, understand this bigger map. Jivan Mukti of 1 second. Understand that you are not Jerry and Tom. You are souls, and you got a home, and you are just visiting in this world. This is an extra. This is a drama. Baba is the one who is giving us the insights into this. That is the drama. This word is from Baba. This is a film. Baba uses this word, film. And it is fixed. It is repeating. That is the way the cartoon will go. You don't need to change it. There is no need. And you are very lucky. You should be happy forever. Whatever happens in the cartoon, you should be happy. Now, all of that is possible if we step out of this confusion, ignorance. The game of 1 second. It is not half. It is not you are coming out of it half and living in the cartoon, which means you are still holding on to Ravan's madness. The game is you come out of it fully and understand the absurdity of the cartoon. Also to know in this, Ravan and Ravan's different heads, we are calling them identities or ego that are created. They are embodiments of ignorance. Embodiments means they are so stubbornly comfortable to believe that that cartoon is their world. Jerry, Tom, this is my world. Don't question it. Don't tell me anything more. They are embodiments of ignorance. Ego is like this. So this is something we have to deal with within ourselves. Ego and ego of others. They are also so stubbornly comfortable in that darkness. They suffer also, they cry also, they get angry also, but there is no compromise. That is the position of the ego. Once we know this, you will also know internally some arguments will come. And what are these? Why am I feeling like this? This appears completely normal. Why do I need to change things? I just need to fix this cartoon a little bit, improve a little bit. If some people change their behavior, I can be so happy. If I get a slightly bigger position, things are okay. These are the ideas of ego. Ego doesn't want to do some radical change. Here, the game is you are using the best intellect, best sight, and you are helping the invisible prince wake up. It is like a game. Our effort is a jump. You are not spending time to convince your ego. You are not negotiating with Ravan. You are just Jivan Mukti in 1 second. Invisible prince wakes up and sees this world, sees his world, his Alokik world, and sees his divine family and his home and his perfection, sees the cartoon as cartoon. Once you have done this, even for 1 minute, you are watching it like this, you realize what that freedom is, what Baba is asking, and what that authentic experience is of the angel, of the soul, of the deities, what that authentic experience. Ravan free mind, Ravan free life. unconditional upon the cartoon. As we said, in the cartoon, things become big, things become small, things disappear, things come. That is going on. It is cartoon. You are understanding what it is all about. There is no vibration in that state, in that phase. There is no vibration of complaint, no vibration of criticism, no vibration of concern, no vibration of craving, no vibration of crying. All these Ravan's department, you are free from. The life of the invisible prince is celebration. Remember, this I used this example of Freddie, this model helping us. If Freddie can do it, anyone can do it. In a year, if 3-year-old Freddie can do it, watch the cartoon and not mix his life with the cartoon world, and then there is no reason, the adults. Only difference is here we are dealing with bigger screen, bigger video, bigger performance, longer performance, different scale. But we are adults. We got brains to deal with this bigger screen and bigger performance. Nothing else. Let us make it easy. And when we make it easy, you find the whole thing is obvious. Let us make it easy and obvious. And then we have to collect minutes and minutes when we are coming in that space. Even if we understand it, right now I'm talking about this. It doesn't mean I'm 100% in that space. That ego will still, everyone, we all will be pulled back again, as if that cartoon is your world next minute. That's okay. You continue to create another minute and another minute perspective from beyond. And if every minute you are clocking in, that is, yesterday we used the word, you are creating a track. You are starting this new perspective. Our aim is perfection. Method is perfection. And of the experience, that highest from the first minute. Let us hear some thoughts from you.
So do type your thoughts. I like the way we built it up from seeing what is the stage and what is the definition with this Vashikaran mantra that came from that day, and Baba's using those words with a different meaning, but that no one really understood the enemy. So then it came the question, so if sages couldn't do it, it becomes so big. And then the model of the cartoon, Freddie can do it. So it's really the knowledge of really this is a secondary reality. We have a primary, and not negotiating with ego in the dark. And it's a new perspective. A question came up for me. I absolutely feel congruent with the third person. It is a jump or a shift. You said invisible soul is a yogi, but inside there's a voice that comes, what about me? It's fine for him, he's the yogi, but what about me?
Yes. Yeah, nice. In this, just revising also, that invisible witness wakes up. Invisible witness is the invisible prince, and this is without any metaphor. He is really the prince. In the drama, there are princes, royal families. But these are in the drama, temporary. Behind the drama is the real prince and the real king. They all need to discover the real prince, eternal prince, and the qualities of the prince. So here is this reality. The invisible soul is the invisible prince. He wakes up. He understands the performance that is going on. Understands also that Prashant is part of that cartoon. And like with other characters in the cartoon, Jerry, Tom, they come, they go, they disappear, and cartoon also finishes. So also Prashant will also finish, disappear. Such is the nature of the cartoon, but the invisible witness, he's conscious and he's 100% carefree. We hear these different messages, regardless of what happens in the cartoon, you are free. That is the perspective, the invisible witness. He's not there to promote some Jerry or Tom or anyone. That is not his business. But that is the mission of ego. Ego has got into this mission. He has to absolutely promote Jerry. And he is willing to destroy the world even to protect Jerry. Such is the madness of ego. Here you are understanding that there are millions and billions of these different characters in this cartoon, and he's free from a whole lot. He can watch it, but his concern is how to remain conscious. That is all. Truth is extraordinary. All that is required, he remaining conscious and helping others become conscious. That is his mission of the soul. So what about me? That question will come from the ego. Ego is so caught up in the world of Jerry. And so his mission is to promote Jerry. Even when it comes to spiritual ideas, he wants to make Jerry spiritual. Jerry has to appear very, wise, and Jerry has to be, just like some politicians, they want to become kings, the presidents. Same here. The ego wants to promote Jerry. When you take this jump, the invisible witness, he understands he got the biggest lottery. There can't be a bigger lottery than this. He knows. That's why he says he's lucky, but it is lucky on a big scale. Eternal lottery he has got. He also knows everyone is lucky. Instead of they wasting their time promoting and fighting they just need to wake up and see what prize they have got already. Recently, Baba said, it's a game of the intellect. It's a race of the intellect. These are the words Baba uses. And everyone got this subtle intellect. We need to use. The whole game is very subtle because this whole dimension is subtle. We all got that intellect and we use it. Every minute we use it, that will, any muscle you use, that muscle will become stronger. And you continue to see that dimension more and more clearly.
And the statement that the role is part of the cartoon, in this case, Sarah, automatically creates some objectivity to begin that process of seeing, like in a second, another view. Nice dialogue in the chat. Someone's written, one can feel how absurd the previous behavior was, and shame feelings can come. And the response, it is Ravan that makes us feel shameful, and recognize it, rise above it to your truth, and congratulate yourself for recognizing. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, and very clear, very nice. Now the game is different, and when we are not conscious, everything is wrong. Even when they are sort of very virtuous and smiling and that is also because it is you lost the main game. You are seeing the cartoon as your world, and Jerry is nice and virtuous, and you're happy with that. So you are deceived in a big way, and the whole everything is wrong. Your smile is wrong, love is wrong, your hate is also wrong. That is why first we have to get out of this Ravan's spell, and then you are realizing, okay, then you have to realize everyone is lucky and everyone is good. They just need to take that step of waking up, but others will take the step if I take the step. And so every minute of ours when we are conscious, that is like a huge contribution to the global shift. We said yesterday, you create a track, and then track is useful to you, and that track is useful to others. And there's some places like London is one example. Someone started walking, it became a path, and then in time, the horses and horse carts used that same path. Windy, unnecessarily windy also, but that is the way it happened. And now there are big highways built along that same path. There are thousands of cars going by that path. So much transport is happening. Started with one person walking along those paths. They created that. Same here. You are starting this new track where you are discovering this alokik reality. Use it can be for 1 minute, it can be for 5 minutes. Fun. In this, there is a huge incentive because you are discovering the biggest lottery prize. You are coming into a reality. It is not just a visualization, imagination, just some sweet experience of some kind, watching some film. Here you are coming into the real world, coming out of cartoon into the real world. Something that is eternal, it is there forever. Only thing that also happens, you have to overcome the resistance from ego. Ego is the one that wants to pull you back in the world of Jerry. Think about some petty things in the world of Jerry. Ego will pull you back. You are creating this with attention. Soul conscious, we are soul conscious. If it is not mixed, even slightly with things of the drama. We used a word yesterday, unpolluted. If there is a drama, today we are using the word cartoon. Many things are happening there, but when you are saying invisible witness, it is invisible witness. It is not invisible witness plus Jerry. invisible witness plus Prashant. No, Prashant is separate. His world is separate. Story is separate. Invisible witness says, it is not my story. It's a story. There are many stories in the world. That is another story. Invisible witness, his world is different. Invisible witness is a yogi. He is loved by God. Everyone is loved. Everyone belongs to God. It is the region of love. But he is conscious to experience that place. The biggest thing anyone can experience throughout a cycle is this. Confluence age is higher than any other age, and Brahmin life is higher than any other life, even the deities. Not because Brahmin, in the drama, things are nice. Drama is drama, but as a Brahmin, you become a yogi. In the Brahmin, there is enough information and material for us to take this jump, to get into this track and discover this alokik and avyakt reality. Excellent. Let us hear some other thoughts from you.
This feeling it's simple but yet subtle. The game. Another discussion in the chat question, if this is a cartoon and it's not important, which many of the sages discovered also, why do they need to reincarnate in it? And some responses, just to experience life. Someone said, see it as like a gift or a gift voucher given to experience the privilege and act their part. But any thoughts on this?
Yes, it is nice to understand this. It is like we take this such a radical position. It's a cartoon, and it is cartoon has minimum. You don't have to worry about it at all. You understand that position helps you to discover this alokik reality properly. You are not holding on to things in the drama, but it allows you to let go of things in the drama and really discover the sky, experience it properly. And then what happens? You come back in this drama again. It is cartoon, but you are coming back in the cartoon. But you come back in the cartoon as an incarnate. You are almost like a player. The play is a very good example. I know this is a play and really doesn't matter. It is a play. It doesn't affect my life at all. If it is cancelled, it is okay. But I still go in the play. I play and I want to win. And I use my skills and I use my talents and I work really hard to play. Deal with various situations. Others are blocking, others are pushing. I deal with all this. And I play the game whilst at the same time holding that space that it is fun. And you play to win. You also know to fall. You also know to lose. And you also know to start again. Everything happens with the energy of fun and lightness and balance. So this is exactly what happens when you see this bigger map. you don't really ignore the drama. You still come in this game. It's a cartoon also, it's a game also. You are coming back in this. You are playing it, but with that bigger understanding of the larger map. It is both. It is not one or the other. That's why we sometimes use this image of the right brain and left brain. One side holds the bigger picture in mind, whilst the other side goes into the details.
It's very helpful. Yeah, the two different parts of knowledge. Some is for left brain, some for the right brain. Like it's fixed, acceptance, bigger picture for the right brain, and then play to win. All the details of this inner game. This may answer the next question: how to settle money matters in this cartoon when we owe others and they owe us.
It is a game. In the game, you play by rules. You play to win. Whatever that needs to be done, you do that. In the world of Jerry and Tom, you have to deal with Tom. If Tom owes you something, you'll have to find a way to get it done. But don't forget the bigger map. And don't forget your supreme home because of Tom and because of money owed by Tom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I wanted to read a short passage, spiritual writing, and this is giving us some insight into the life of the yogi. Is that okay? And there will be time for comments afterwards. And you will get the printed version of this afterwards, if you like. Concentration practiced with discernment is certainly higher than mechanical repetition of a prayer. Absorption in God is higher than concentration. A man should not have dislike or hatred for any living creature. Friendly and compassionate to all. This is a description of a yogi. If someone has understood the Jerry and Tom world, he never has serious. He's involved with the joke. The whole thing is a joke for him. Tom, Jerry, cartoon, something become big, something becomes small. He doesn't get into anger or dislike or hatred. He knows the divine nature of everyone, his immensely lovely brothers. He frees himself from the delusion of I and my. He accepts pleasure and pain with equal tranquility. He is forgiving, ever contented, self-controlled, united constantly in his meditation. His resolve is unshakable. dedicated to me in intellect and in mind, such a yogi is dear to me. He neither molests his fellow man nor allows himself to become disturbed by the world. He is no longer swayed by joy, envy, anxiety, fear. He is dear to me. He is pure and independent of body's needs. Today you heard in the Murli, becoming free from desire, not just greed, but becoming free from need. So nice analogy. If there is a plant in your house, plant needs some water, plant needs some manure. That is not your need, but you are happy to get that water and manure for the plant. Invisible witness, he doesn't need the cartoon. Leave aside anything, gold or food. He doesn't need the cartoon. So he comes in the cartoon. He is very happy to do things as a trustee, find food for the body, but he doesn't forget the starting position. The starting position is that he is lucky and his world is independent. It is possible you get drawn into the cartoon and then completely forget. It becomes your need in time. And that is what has happened here. It has become, complete darkness. They are fighting for water as if, but here, yogi is independent of the body's needs of the body. He is able to deal with the unexpected. Jerry suddenly disappears. Jerry comes again. He is prepared. Freddy can handle it. Prepared for the unexpected. Prepared for everything. Unperturbed by anything. He is neither vain nor anxious about the results of his actions. What might happen next? And what might Tom do next? What might Jerry do next? Unperturbed by the results of his action. Such a yogi is dear to me. He does not desire or rejoice in what is pleasant. He does not dread what is unpleasant. There is no fear, dislike. Jerry is with the green hat, suddenly hat disappears. He remains unmoved by good or evil fortune. Such a yogi is dear to me. His attitude is the same towards friend and foe, enemy and friend. They are enemy and friend in the cartoon. He is indifferent to honor, insult, heat, cold, pleasure, and pain. He is free from attachments. He values praise and blame equally. He can control his speech. He is content with whatever he gets. His home is nowhere. In the cartoon, he hasn't got a home, but he's at home everywhere. He knows of his supreme home. He belongs. He's at home. His mind is fixed upon me, and his heart is full of devotion to me. He is dear to me. This true wisdom I have taught will lead you to immortality. The faithful practice it with devotion, taking me for their highest aim. To me, they surrender heart and mind. They are exceedingly dear to me. Surrender heart and mind. In this case, to surrender the ego, if someone has to surrender it, someone has to take that step to surrender Ravan to Ram. And if someone that shows that courage and this discrimination, he is exceedingly dear. That is the whole game. As was said, and there will be printed version of this, we'll make it possible. We'll be meeting in rooms sometime, but if anything you want to add before.
It's extremely rich reading. I appreciate also some decoding and the invisible witness perspective. There aren't questions immediately there are some, but maybe after the break. Someone's asking, we need to become this type of yogi.
Yeah. And the invisible witness, then you will see, we are not reading these as commandments, but our homework is nourish that higher consciousness. From there, many things are obvious. From the lower consciousness, it becomes just another commandment to put into practice, but it is not possible.
It's useful to observe the difference in the self, how it's being heard. But it's like if we're given that direction, there must be a vision that we can also fulfill it. So somehow stepping into that self-respect of the true self. So would you like to give a kind of a notional question or something that might promote the start of discussion in the rooms?
We discussed so far about sages, prophets, yogis, and Freddy. So what are the lessons we are learning from Freddy?
Yeah. You want that? Yeah, it makes sense. Anything further? That's kind of clear.
That is a lot. We can learn a lot from Freddy.
Yes. Good. So we just popped that in the chat. Someone's written happy feelings hearing this description of a yogi. So true. So Heather will be inviting us shortly, and do feel free to press help button after maybe after give it a couple of minutes while everyone is arriving in the room. We'll see you back 10-15 minutes. Thank you. Hello, welcome. Such a nice experience to see you in the rooms and hear some very rich discussions. Let's take a minute to experience the essence. Thank you for sharing that space. Just a note for Chinese translator, you might need to leave and rejoin because I can't seem to add you. It says you're added already. So, you know, what was important in the discussion? It'd be lovely to if you want to type anything. One thing that came in this aspect of balance, when challenges come, the feeling of, say, Freddie, you know, watching the cartoon, it's just fun, and the situation is interpreted that way, knowing the context, and so principally very interesting. Can you hear me okay? The Zoom says I've switched to Portuguese. I'm not sure what's going on.
No, sound is okay.
Okay, good. Zoom is experimenting, I think. Zoom is a bit confused. Yes, so, you know, it's a fun, and the Zoom is fun, and technology is fun. It's interpreted that way. And I think it's such a helpful reference point. We may not always feel it, but the option to just play with it, be objective about the role, come back into that, that no needs. So let's hear from you. Meanwhile, welcoming back Prashant. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back. Let us create another minute of attention. This is a nice program for us. If Freddie can do it, anyone can do it. We can do it. The only extra part, we use a different sight and different intellect so that we can see the bigger cartoon, bigger screen, and the bigger world behind. That's all. And everything is in place then. and when we draw these sketches, we show the whole physical world in a little box. That physically, and visually, you get an image. That whole world is small, like a cartoon. And many, many things that happened yesterday and in the past, it all happened in the cartoon. And Baba said today, situation came, it will come again after 5,000 years. And that's so. For the invisible witness, he is amused by the whole thing. He remains naturally out of it. Someone said nicely, in your discussions, it is not a question of becoming nice or becoming virtuous Jerry. That is not the point. But the real point is coming out of the madness of Ravan. And then you discover the invisible witness. He is authentic in virtue. The whole game is different. The reality is divine and alokik. The anger, today's there was lots of reference to anger. We can understand it again when we are seeing from the perspective of the invisible witness. Invisible witness, when he is seeing things from beyond, is using the best intellect and understands the cartoon, Jerry, Tom cartoon. It is meant to, cartoon is meant to have its script. A cartoon doesn't promise you some kind of a justice or some kind of logic. Cartoon just is there for free entertainment, variety entertainment. That's what the cartoon is for. So also here, you are understanding this cartoon. And the perspective is that various things that happen, they are meant to be like that. It's a joke, and nothing matters. In case you created some expectation, preference, you are understanding we have to drop it all. Be prepared for the unexpected. Prepared for anything. It is natural. Freddy is doing it, but we can do it. Freddy is prepared for anything. He's amused by everything. So also the invisible witness, he can do it. If we cross that line, if we don't see it as a cartoon and see that this is my world and this is my center and this is my city and these are my friends, in the Jerry's world, you are seeing like that. It may appear all love and love, you may be talking like that, but you have crossed the first line. You are into Ravan's camp. And once you are in the Ravan's camp, Ravan's department opens. There will definitely be expectations and demands and preferences and complaints. And that is already anger. Baba said anger is not just a big blast of anger. All these little criticisms in the mind, and dissatisfactions. These are all different anger. Our success is not suppressing it, remaining silent. That is not, we are not solving it. We solve it by changing our attitude towards the cartoon. Seeing, understanding cartoon is meant to be like that. And I'm not saying that Jerry X Tom cartoon should be changed. That is my confusion. Deities are free from vices because it is inside out, they are free. There is no reason for even the slightest dislike or dissatisfaction. Leave aside irritation and all is bigger, but slightest dissatisfaction with what is happening, that is already Ravan's. And then Baba uses this language, wah wah, means wonderful, wonderful. So one who is free, invisible witness, he finds every scene is specially made scene. And every scene is so wonderful. And past is good and present is good. Everything is good. That's why auspicious, inside, outside, he's auspicious. Yeah, it will be nice to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe I could just bring a couple of the questions that were there. One is from yesterday and a couple from today.
Sure.
About the financial situation, a specific question. If we owe money to others, even after paying huge interest, we are unable to repay the amount. Will this affect the soul if this account remains unsettled?
There will be account because in the game, we need to play the game by rules. That consciously, subconsciously, there will be distraction. The intention, that is what matters. What is the intention? And intention that is deity, that is clean, and that is to play the game by the rules. If that is what is happening, then there is no impression left. If the intention is wrong, Ravan's intention, in other words, then Ravan's department will be there, and that will go with the soul. That will create heaviness.
Thank you. Hope that helps.
But any of these situations where we discuss with personal, the details with the instrument in our centers, connected centers, discuss personal situations.
Yeah, local center maybe the most helpful. What is the proof that the movie repeats itself indefinitely?
We can't have a proof in an ordinary way, because when I'm watching a cartoon, at that time, there is no proof in that slide that it will repeat again. And only the director, producer can tell you that it is going to repeat again. some indirect, cases like the people who remember past experiences, deja vu kind of experiences. They may give an indirect clue towards it, but there it can't be the evidence in the cartoon when you are watching it.
Yeah, thank you. Yesterday, this question came. The idea of the part comes often. Could you elaborate on the difference between the part and the role? What defines each? What can one do in one and the other respectively?
Part and the role, we are using it synonymously with the same meaning. Like example here, there a cartoon, someone is literally acting as Tom. Someone is acting as Freddy. They are like the characters in a game. And the whole of it. There is a Jerry. Jerry may be having some details about it. He may be friend of someone and he may be son of someone, but it is the whole package is part of the cartoon. Most important here is to know that there is an actor behind the cartoon. And our real issue is the actor has become unconscious. Cartoon has become so dominant that actor is not even conscious there. Our big success is the invisible actor becomes conscious and discovers that he is the invisible prince and he is the invisible witness. And he is lucky, the invisible actor, he is lucky.
Yeah, thank you. Someone wrote, maybe because the part is like the soul, the mission of the soul, and the role is the actor, but actually you could say they're just interchangeable terms. Someone has written, makes sense, but the integration of the experience can feel harsh because different experiences, maybe physical challenges, it is constant, could be like a constant feeling of different challenges. It's just a comment, but if you have anything to share.
We all are experiencing things. The life is like we are experiencing the cartoon. The interpretation of it, that is what is difference. And we need to bring in this factor of the invisible observer, and then his interpretation is divine. It doesn't bring harshness. It is like a remedy for the old interpretations. Otherwise, we go into unnecessary complications in when ego interprets it. When the angel is interpreting it, he's same sin, but he finds it amusing. Just like, if there is a joke, one person laughs at a joke, another person takes it all seriously and becomes heavy. It is the interpretation of the same sin.
It shows that there are options, and the option to be free from the victim or beggar mindset, and it comes back to that shift of perspective. Even just to have the thought or the idea, it really opens up what previously was interpreted as suffering, something to experiment with. So there aren't any other questions. If you have anything to share, any final reflections?
It is nice. We have seen how this world is made rich by these enlightened souls who come at different times. And it is also nice at present time. Confluence is the time when enlightened souls are created for the rest of the cycle. And every minute you are creating time in an accurate way within the understanding the Srimad. You are making it easy for others to experience that and experience their highest. They are the ones who will then become prophets and saints and Mahatmas in the next cycle. Nice privilege and responsibility for all of us. The image of what we discussed in the last half an hour, it is more to see how we can make it easy. And the whole thing is, from one angle, very complex, because the cartoon is so big and we are so gone into it, deceived. But we can make it easy also. So have fun. We'll be listening to Baba taking us through the cycle and taking us in the different experiences.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prashant and everyone. Yeah, we're going to watch 5 forms. Thank you.
बाप दादा सभी बच्चों की पांच स्वरूप थी। पहला अनादि ज्योति बिंदु स्वरूप। याद है ना अपना स्वरूप? याद है ना? भूल तो नहीं जाती। दूसरा है आदि देवता स्वरूप। पहुंच गए देवता स्वरूप में, पहुंच गए, चले गए देवता रूप में। तीसरा मध्य में पूज्य स्वरूप। चौथा है संगम योगी ब्रह्मांड स्वरूप। और लास्ट में है फरिश्ता स्वरूप। पांचीरुनियत आगे आगे अच्छा 1 सेकंड में ये पांची रूपों में अनुभव कर सकते हो अपने को 1 2 3 4 5 अनुभव कर सकते हो कर रहे हो ये पांची स्वरूप कितने प्यारे जब जाओ जिस भी रूप में स्थित होने जाओ सोचा और अनुभव किया ये रूहानी मन की एक्सरसाइज और ये एक्सरसाइज करते रहेंगे तो बिल्कुल लाइट हो जाए अभ्यास हो जाएगा
I heard the story about Jim Carrey, the famous